What's going on, you guys? It's been 7 years since I wanted to make a video like this. I never thought that it would happen, but it did happen. As you guys might remember, I did have my red Celica GTS, and that was a pristine car, and I honestly never thought that I could find another Celica that was as good as that one. I did buy another Celica after that, a black one, a black 01 GTS, just to use as a daily driver, and of course it was in beat up condition and I didn't mind. It was just for daily driving, and I never thought that I would mod another Celica again, but these are our cars right now. My Lotus, I still have my Lotus, girlfriend's TSX. It's on bags. That thing's crazy right there. It's won so many awards at car shows and stuff like that. She's done a lot of work done to that. Really beautiful car, and it does have bags, so it does drop all the way down to the ground. It's at like a high setting right now just for parking and stuff like that, but a lot of you guys have guessed on Instagram. I did post this, I did post a teaser picture, and a lot of you guys guessed, and a couple of you guys got it right. So I want to introduce to you guys my new 2005 Celica GTS Tsunami Edition. So I found this unicorn. First of all, it's yellow, and I got yellow because it matches my Lotus, as many of you guys have guessed that as well. But it is a 2005, which is rare. It's solar yellow, which is even more rare. To top it off, it's a Tsunami edition from the factory, which is incredibly rare for an 05. Now, everything is in pretty much original condition. The owner was an 84-year-old man. So he, from what I was told, he bought two Celicas, one for each of his kids, and one of his kids didn't want a Celica. I think he wanted a Scion, and so he bought the Scion for his kid and he kept the Celica for himself, and he's kept it since 2007, and he bought it when it had only like 5k miles on it. So he took really good care of it, which I am so thankful for, because now it's mine. And you know, if someone takes good care of their cars, it's of huge help to you in the future. And you know, I've done the same thing with all my cars. Every car I've sold, I've taken extremely good care of them. And like my red Celica GTS, that thing went probably better in condition than it was new, more than likely. But anyways, let's give a walk around on the car. He did have a GTS emblem on the front. I took that out and I put the factory Toyota badge back on there. Shout out to Mitch Dory. Thank you for sending me that that emblem right there. He also bought a GTS Tsunami edition in manual, and he debadged his car, and I asked him if I could have the badges, and he did send me the badge. And I'm not sure if the badges are different, because these have like two little dimples that it goes into. I'm not sure if the 03 ones are the same or not, but thank you, Mitch, for the emblem and a couple of the LEDs inside the car, and the license plate LEDs, which look amazing, by the way. Going on to the front, of course, you got the Tsunami headlights, Tsunami's side or hood scoop, of course, Tsunami front bumper, and the fog lights. Believe it or not, those fog lights are from, I believe, a Subaru. So if you need a Tsunami fog light, you can get them from a Subaru. He did change the rims. I'm not crazy about the rims at all, so these are something that is gonna go. I'm not liking those rims at all. Not my taste, and also they're not in really good condition. Going on to the side, you got the Tsunami side skirt. Again, this car is in amazing condition, and it's hard to get it all in one picture, but there is that. Going back to the back, we got the Tsunami tail lights and Tsunami rear bumper. Now, the tail lights, I want to probably switch them to the 03 versions. I do have the 03 taillights, So I'm probably going to swap out the Tsunami taillights for the 03 taillights. Just my personal preference. I'm not too much of a fan of the chrome, even though it is a factory Tsunami part. The thing is, we're in like 2020 and these things kind of scream like early 2000s to me. And a lot of people nowadays, they have, first of all, they don't even know what a Tsunami edition is. And second of all, they'll just see the taillights and say, oh, they're eBay taillights or something like that. But regardless, I don't care what people think. I just prefer the look of the 03s more. Alright, so one thing I did change actually was the Celica letters on the hatch. I did that just to give it a little pop. I did the same thing with my red Celica. I think it looked nice. It gave a good contrast to it. And speaking of letters and badges, it has the factory badges, plus it has the Celica Tsunami edition badge on there, which is only available in Canada and possibly other countries outside of the US. And what happened was there was actually in 2004, 2005, when the Tsunami edition was released, there was actually a tsunami that hit, ironically, a tsunami hit Asia. I believe it was Indonesia and such. And so it was kind of senseless for them to call it a Tsunami edition. So they actually ended up calling it an action package Celica. So, but the rest of the world, they know it as a Celica Tsunami kit. And that's what it is. It's just the political correctness and stuff like that. But, you know, this looks amazing. So shout out to Evan for being able to produce that and getting one of those. Alright, so something that actually surprised me was this 84-year-old man actually had a Greddy exhaust on this car. So he did install a Greddy exhaust on there. I'm going to swap that out for a TRD exhaust, just my preference. This is a Greddy, I believe it's a silent exhaust, and it is pretty quiet. So that's probably going to go up for sale. If you guys are interested in that, I might post a link or something like that. Check my Instagram if you're interested in purchasing that for picking up and locally. Let's see, what else? This does have an automatic antenna, which I don't really like too much, but on the bright side, it is only wired to the radio, so it comes on when the radio is on. So we'll basically never see it, but I kind of do wish that it was able to put the S2K antenna on there just to give it a better look. And going back to the side, Tsunami side skirts, of course those shitty rims that I don't like. And that's it for this side. It does actually have sway bars. So it has rear sway bars. Let's see if I can get a picture of those right there. And then it has front sway bars as well. Let's see if you can take a look at that. And it's really hard to see from this angle, but it does have front sway bars on there. Engine is stock. There's nothing done to the engine. Now going on to the inside, it is extremely clean. It is a little ashy right now, just because if you guys aren't aware, California is on fire, basically all of it, and there's ash everywhere. And I had the sunroof crack just a hair, and somehow a ton of ash got inside, so I gotta kind of vacuum that out. But he had the whole interior reupholstered back to factory condition, and these seats feel brand new. Like, they are brand new seats. Basically the whole interior is like brand new. It's all been reconditioned, and the carpets have been shampooed and detailed. I think he spent like $400 on interior detailing, so it really shows. Super clean. Of course, it is a GTS with the paddle or the button shifts, M mode, and it is automatic. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad that it's automatic, and you would almost never hear me say that, but I do have my Lotus, so, and a Celica is never going to be fast. So definitely not as fast as the Lotus is ever going to be. So I have my Lotus, you know, for a fun driving experience, and the Celica is more for cruising and kind of reminiscing, going back to my roots, and just enjoying driving it, just cruising and stuff. And I do have a almost a 1-year-old son, actually, so he's going to be in the back seat in this car. So didn't really want to deal with the manual transmission. Of course, my I won't be the only one driving it all the time, so I wanted to make it accessible easily for everyone, although most everyone that I know can drive a manual. But this is the interior. I did change all the speakers to Rockford Fosgate, and yeah, changed the speakers to components in the front, and you know, the 2 or 3 ways in the back, and it sounds amazing. Changed the head unit to JVC, and of course I need to actually put the ring on the other tweeter. So the tweeters are also changed, and we need to actually Dremel out a larger circle into the panel to be able to fit those tweeters. So that is the interior right there. And I did actually install a rear backup camera, which you can see right there, which does require you to drill into the back of the hatch. So you have to drill through the hatch, and I routed the wires basically through here down the hatch with the fish tape. Just sent it down and through this weather strip, got it out through the top of the roof, and the headliner, dropped it down and sent it to the head unit. So that was actually quite a pain to do all that. So that's a lot of work. If you're gonna try to do that, I would honestly suggest you take it to a shop to do it, because it really is a difficult task just to get that wire through. But so that is basically it for this car. I'm sure some of you guys are gonna ask me if I'm gonna mod this car, and the answer to that is no, not that much. Of course, anytime you say I'm gonna keep it stock, who actually keeps it stock, right? So I've already did mod it. So I added some little stuff to it, the sound system, and next thing I'm gonna do is probably a Viper alarm, a 2-way Viper alarm that I used to have on my previous Celica with the remote start. Other than that, not really. I'm just gonna change it to the TRD factory exhaust, the sport exhaust, and I actually do have the Tsunami rear exhaust tip still. So I do have a Tsunami exhaust tip. I was contemplating whether or not if I should just put the TRD exhaust on and have a custom shorter tip and have the Tsunami exhaust tip on there, or just leave it straight full TRD with the TRD tip poking out right there. Of course, I'm gonna leave a poll in Instagram, just get some people's feedback, and see what the best plan of action for that is. And of course, the taillights, I'm more than likely going to change them to the 03, at least just to see how it's gonna look like. I'll probably do one side and then make an Instagram post and have you guys you know, check it out and vote and see where I should what direction I should go with that, because I'm on the fence. You know, it is a Tsunami edition, but at the same time I personally like the look of the 03 better, 03 original headlights, or taillights rather. And I might do my tint that I did on it last time on my red Celica, and that came out looking amazing. So I might tint these in such a way, but in reverse. So actually, let's go back and let me show you. So on my red Celica, if you guys remember, I had a 2-piece tint by Goots. Goots is his forum name on newcelica.org from a long time ago, and he was actually the one that came up with it. And I borrowed the idea from him to do that on my red Celica. So it was basically a tint that went around this spot right here, but it left these the outer edges, so it kind of gave a good pop, a nice contrast on that. But on this one, because the edges are chrome, I might do a reverse tint, and I might tint just the outer edges and then the inside right there. That way it doesn't you know, interact with the light output. It doesn't impede any illumination coming out of the taillights, and so it would be legal and safe. I'm not trying to do anything illegal on the car at all, so of course it's a daily driver, and I'm just gonna try to keep it that way. So so that is our cars for now. Oh, and forgot my RSX right here. But I also have an RSX that has been my daily. And the story behind the RSX is, after I sold my 01 black GTS, I wanted another Celica, but at the same time, like I said, I never thought I would find another Celica that would be as good as my red one, that I could remotely get it close to how good that one looked. And of course I had my Lotus, and that's actually one reason I didn't get a manual on this car, is because I remember on my with my red GTS, it has the same engine and transmission as my Lotus. And what happened was, after I drove my Lotus and then I drove the red Celica GTS with the 6-speed, I found that I felt like there's something wrong with the car. I felt like it wouldn't you know, accelerate fast. It just felt like I was holding down, like, you know, like 2,000 pounds of a boulder behind me or something like that. I was just like towing a 2,000-pound boulder, just dragging it along. That's what it felt like, and that's just a testament to how light this car is. And just because the engine and transmission are the same exact thing, there's no difference in them, so you 100% just feel the reduction in power and you know, drivability of that car. So that's also why I wanted an automatic, just because it's different than my Lotus. Because when I drove, I found that after I drove my Lotus, I just didn't enjoy driving my Celica anymore, because it's basically the same thing, just super heavier, you know. So that's kind of what killed it for me on the Celica. But you know, going back to the RSX, of course it just rained last night, so it's super filthy. This is also pretty much stock. I just changed the headlights to the black housing, and you know, added an in-dash and added an in-dash and backup camera and stuff like that. And this one's also automatic, and but it's actually been a super good car. Been really happy with it. And so again, when I had the black Celica GTS after I sold it, I wanted something with a hatch that had a lot of trunk space, which something I love about these cars is they have a ton of trunk space. And so I wanted something similar to the Celica, but not exactly the same, just for the honor of my red Celica, you know. So I got the RSX. My friend had one a long time ago when I had my silver TRD Celica. If you're a real OG, if you remember that was a one pristine car that I had. So my friend had an RSX, and they're sitting side by side, and I'm like, man, RSX really do look nice. So this was just another thing I just wanted to try out, and I've had this for, you know, 4 or 5 years or so, but now that I have the Celica, this RSX is going to go. So this is going to be for sale soon. Actually, I feel bad for selling it because I've been through so much with it, but I mean, that's just me being really you know, clingy to my cars. But you know, you form relationships over time with these cars, and you put your heart and soul into them. You know, they become an extension of yourself. You know, my Lotus especially, I don't think I'm ever going to sell that. I hope I don't have to, but you know, you know, over time these cars become an extension of yourself, and you know, people see that, and it's really nice to see that people appreciate them, or appreciate the things that you've done to them, and that you motivate other people to do similar things, you know, to your car. It's not always the best feeling to see an exact copy of your car somewhere, but it is a compliment that it lets you know that you are doing something right. So thank you guys for staying with me throughout all these years. I am so happy to say that I am back into the Celica world, and we actually do have a Celica meet coming up on Facebook in Santa Cruz, I believe, on mid to late September. I think it was like September 20 something. I'll post a link to that in the description below. If you are in Northern California, come to that meet, say hi. I would love to meet you guys, and you can join our family, our NorCal family group, and you know, it would just be amazing to meet all other Celica people. I remember when we had Treasure Island meets and NorCal SoCal meets, that, you know, we've had like over 100 cars, 100 Celicas at the meet, and it was just the best feeling ever. So yeah, so thank you guys so much for sticking with me throughout all these years. Gone through so many different cars, but I'm so glad that I'm back and I have a Celica that's actually worth a shit, you know, so to you know, maintain and you know, make it look nice. So it's the closest thing I could get to my red Celica, but it's I love it. I'm so glad that I was able to pick that up. And of course, nothing will ever take away from the Lotus right here. I will always, this is just my second child basically. Yeah, so these are our cars for now, and I am probably, actually, after I sell the RSX, I'm planning on buying another car, a RAV4, just for the baby, just so it's easier to get it in and out. So this is simply going to replace my RSX as a daily driver for my Lotus, because she has bags and other stuff in her car, it's really difficult to take strollers or anything else with us. So we're gonna have to probably get a RAV4 to, you know, make it easier for the baby. But this is the Celica, and shout out to everyone who was right about the guess on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for all your support during these years. Sorry I made this video so long, but I just wanted to make a good in-depth review of it. One thing, I know someone's gonna ask me about the colors. If you notice, side by side, look at the color difference between the Lotus and the Celica. The Celica is a solar yellow and the Lotus is a saffron yellow. So the Celica is more like a canary yellow-ish, and the Lotus is like a yellow-orange type of color. So that's what those colors are. But they both look really good. Side by side, I prefer the Lotus more, but when it's just on its own, the Celica looks great. But so this is the Celica. Thank you guys for watching. Follow me on Instagram at KELEENT. I'll post a link down in the description below. Thank you all for your support, and I look forward to making more videos on Celicas and meets, and yeah, so thank you guys, appreciate it. Have a good day.